Two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Life Theories. It's a impromptu one. We call it in professional wrestling, we call an audible. An audible is when you actually change the outcome of a match mid-range. So we called an
It's a
audible today, ladies and
spontaneous one
gentlemen.
today.
Yeah, we called an audible, and we have Batman and Nightwing from the Titans, and we could be joined by Starfire. But how you going, big fella? What's happening?
I'm very good, man. I'm integrating these energies the best I can, and getting some leeway with it
Yeah,
lately.
it's
So
been
I
a
don't,
big.
I don't, I don't want to speak too soon because you know that the universe is always listening.
Oh, look, I think with the retrograde that's going through the 6 planets that have done, I mean, there's been a lot of communications, a lot of things have come up for you to deal with, and also a lot of things that you got to. I think they're giving you a lot of hints into where you got to go, whether it be um, oh, look, they're telling you like synchronicities and stuff. They say
Yes, 100%.
something's coming up to say, look closely at this. Is not where you're supposed to be in life. You're supposed to be
Yeah,
here, and you got to trust. There's a
100%.
lot of trust involved, you know.
That
So
that happened to me yesterday, man. I was invited out to a surprise party, and I was invited out on the Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I can't remember which day it was, but I had a couple of days to decide whether I was going or not. And in my head, I decided I was going to go, but
yep,
my intuition was telling me, don't
excuse
go,
me.
man. Don't go. Don't go. So it come to like 2 days before, and then I made the decision not to go. And then this energy lifted from within inside of me, Jay. It was unbelievable, man.
So what happened?
Because
Oh, so
I
what
was
happened after?
I was going against what my intuition was telling me when I said to myself I was going to go. And then the moment I made that decision not to go, that's when the energy lifted and I felt so much lighter. I felt like it was the right decision because I know that if I go out, I'm going to end up having a little drink. And then the next morning, I ain't going to get the sleep that I need. I'm going to be intoxicated. And it puts me back about 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? I
Oh,
missed the
okay.
gym I missed the gym for a few days. So I had to make that decision and that sacrifice to stay in last night. I had the kids anyway, but I let the missus go out. The missus went out. I stayed in, watched the kids, but it was an eye opener for me, Jay, because we tend to go against what we know inside. Do you know what I mean? And deep down, we know wrong from right. We know when we should be doing something and when we shouldn't be doing something. But it's just that we don't tend to listen to our
I don't
intuition.
think we trust, mate. I
Or
was going to say we don't think we trust. Like, I think the other thing that Karen taught us, that one Karen,
yeah.
the one we try,
That's a
I think
heart.
that has connected me a lot to the universe and actually centering myself with the, I guess, being involved and being a part of that universal power. And it's also given me a lot more confidence in myself. But you're right about the synchronicities. It's amazing. I made a big decision a couple of weeks ago. Well, not even a couple of weeks ago of changing jobs to a point of having a year off, which is not going to hurt. It's just a case of basically I get a year off unpaid,
Mm-hmm.
but I go and do relief teaching. You
Mm-hmm.
know how frigging good it felt when I actually said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing that," you know?
This is it.
And
This
you felt, I'm just on the railroad of happiness and joy now. You know what I mean? Like what we're
mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, don't you? You get
Hundred
that. You've
percent.
been talking about
Hundred
that a fair
percent,
bit.
Jay. It's crazy, man, because it's when you're tapped in, tuned in, plugged, turned on, and you're aware that you're inside this matrix and you are receiving help, but you're also being attacked by unseen entities that don't want you to become aware. They don't want you to be awake. They don't want you to strive to become the best version of yourself. So you get tested. And there's cycles. And I've started to realize every time I start to get a leadway in what I'm doing, every time I start to get ahead of the game, something will come up whether I will be invited out or something will come up to try and swerve me off my path. And
Keep going. I've got to
when
keep going.
when you, like me yesterday, became, because these energies that are coming in now, that you either are on track or you're off track. There's no in
Yes,
between.
there's no in between, is there?
There's no in between anymore, Jay. It's either you're on it or you're off,
That's
right?
right.
So it's a choice. It's a choice. I chose to stay in. I chose not to go out and drink and dabble in certain chemical substances that put me back 2 weeks at a time. I chose not to do those things, and it empowered me. It it gave me that recognition of myself that I am in control of my mind and I can create a life that I want if I can sacrifice. You understand? It's
Absolutely.
those short-term gains for a long-term loss. That's what is wrong. That's what was wrong with me. I would have these little short-term games going out, short-term gains, and then, but in hindsight, over a period of time, it's a loss because I could have been doing this and I could have been doing that. You understand? So it's about
Okay,
sacrifice.
we were just talking about synchronicities and about how we have to accept people's journeys because we are a higher level now, and people who pull us down, where we see it, and our biggest challenge is to go to silence and leave it alone because of our egos. We're training our egos not to react because it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been feeling the last couple of weeks?
I got a lot to say on that one. So my thing is with my dad, because my mom, we know what happened with her.
Yep.
And it's bringing up the inner child stuff. It's bringing up stuff from my whole life. Also anger from, he had a lot of part in why she did what she did, I think. Like probably like 80% of it. I'm not blaming someone, but there's a lot. So you can imagine there's anger, there's grief, there's every emotion you can imagine. And also the inner child, is like, on many different levels. So, sometimes it's not like wanting to be right. It's because sometimes you want to be right. But I realize sometimes if you're dealing with a narcissist in particular, like what I'm doing with, nothing you say is right. So I just have to withdraw my energy. I'm like, okay, we can talk about this, and how can I improve this relationship? I'm sure this is karma from a past life. I'm sure there's a lot deeper stuff there. And why is the person acting that way? Because also he's also mad at my mom for certain things even from the past before this. So there's a lot of deep stuff there. But like I took things like personal, right, my whole life, thinking it was about me and probably had nothing to do with me. The inner child is all like, it's about me. There's something wrong with me. I'm not worthy, blah, blah. But really, sometimes it's nothing to do with you. And I'm not just relating to this. I made a video on this recently. Sometimes people are literally just projecting what's inside of them. Mm-hmm. And they're angry, they're hurt. They don't know how to process trauma, grief, or they don't know how to process emotions. Everyone has different things that are going on or insecurities. So like, sometimes we have to try to not take things personal, and sometimes, but we get in our ego, right? Because they sometimes, I'm not just talking about him, just anyone in general. People say certain things to try to trigger you, try to get under your
Diana,
skin.
Diana, do you think we're easy targets? I'll ask both of you this question. Do you think where we are, because maybe we give off this peaceful energy or whatever, white light or whatever it may be, do you think people like us are easy targets for these ass clowns that are doing what they're doing? I shouldn't really say that, but that's the way it is sometimes. But these people who have a crack, but and you have to accept that they don't understand. But do you think we're easy targets at all? Did you feel like you're an easier target now? What do you think, guys? We'll go to Starfire first.
Well, number one, just being an empath. First of all, you're empath, you're already a target because people sense, whether they're a narcissist or not, doesn't matter. Whether people sense that you're more open, you feel for people, and people use that to manipulate you. Number two, when you're living in your purpose more, shining your light more, you're gonna trigger people.
Excuse me.
Look, I remember when I was in a dark place, when I was going through my addiction, like maybe if I saw someone post some inspiring post, I wouldn't like go there and talk. I might be a little triggered, like, oh, I don't want to read this, but I wouldn't go and like ruin. I wouldn't, because I know I put myself in this position. But some people don't care; they're just miserable and they want people on their level. And I like me, I put memes, inspiring memes up. There's people that get triggered. And people talk on like I'm posting a meme, you know. I'm not even saying anything.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I'm doing something inspiring, usually as a joke to it, and someone says, "Well, blah blah blah." And I'll be honest, sometimes I get in my like want to like say some. I've typed something, and I'm like, wait, you know what? Maybe I should pull back on this. This is not really worth my energy. They're just projecting stuff on me. But yeah, I will say we're targets, and people are trying to bring you back down to a level. And if you want to talk about darker entities, whatever you want to say too, with the spiritual warfare that's going on, for sure.
I feel like a lot of people, like Diana said, this like you gotta understand where they're coming from and where they are in their life, because they're projecting themselves, like Diana said, onto you. So there's some sort of fear, some sort of underlying trauma that they haven't dealt with, and like you both said, it's our egos that get affected. So in hindsight, if we didn't believe, because we've got to understand there's someone could say something to us, and if there's a little ounce of belief in yourself, what they're saying to you, they'll really be triggered. That's facts. So if someone is attacking us and it does trigger us, then we thank that person because they've been a catalyst, and then we might be able to heal whatever it is inside of us that's been triggered. Do you understand? So it swings and roundabouts, but once you understand the psychology of human beings, once you understand the psychology of people, like Diana said, when she posts positive things, and when someone's not in that mind frame, when someone's not feeling positive today, when someone's not really looking for that type of information, then they're gonna automatically dismiss that, right?
Yeah.
And they might even attack you, like Diana said, sometimes, because that it's angered them. Like, it's like, how dare you feel the way you're feeling and put it out here for me to see, right? But
yeah,
like Diana said, we put ourselves in situations, right? And everything that we're going through, we attract to ourselves. There's nothing in our lives that we have not put there. But that means there's nothing in our lives that we cannot also take away. You understand? If you're not really enjoying your life, if you are not attracting the things you want to attract, then you have to go within. Nothing physically manifests without it happening inside here. Like Dana said, it's a spiritual warfare.
Well, you said that before. Keep going. Sorry, you're right, mate. Keep going. You're right.
And there are other entities that are manipulating people to do these things, bring us as far away from the light as possible. So this spiritual warfare is not a joke, man. And I know these conversations, these high vibrational conversations like this is what is needed in order for someone to sort of open their minds just a little bit and then start accepting that life is not what it seems, sort of thing.
Okay, so basically what we're saying was we're triggered, and it also gives us an idea of going, right, you should listen to your gut, you should go the way you're going, trust in your journey, especially that we've done all this work. You can see the difference between doing the work that we've done and when we hadn't. These things aren't coming up. These things aren't happening for us by chance, because we've done the work. Where we look back in the day, we haven't. So you got to just sort of believe in what we're doing and say, right, if your gut's saying you shouldn't do it or whatever it may be, you shouldn't, or be on be aware of it anyway.
That's it. Put it as this: the past month, 6 weeks, I haven't made one YouTube video, right? And it's not because I've given up. It's just because my intuition, my energy, everything's was off, right? And I know I can't be my best self all the time, but I'm passionate about making videos, and I love putting in my all to it. And if I
like your TikToks, they're good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and if I'm starting to get more on TikTok now. Yeah, I'm starting to upload more on TikTok now.
Yeah. I haven't got my spiritual stuff on TikTok yet, but that's that's in the process. So
That's
One
coming.
day at
It's
a time,
coming.
man. You know, things are
It's
coming. I'm
coming.
working on podcasts too. Yeah, getting there.
But this is it. It's like my intuition is telling me I need to take a break because I was putting so much energy into it, and I was forgetting myself. I was forgetting my diet, my health, and even though I was trying to keep up so many things, a 10-minute video might look little for someone, but the energy that you have to put into these videos is enormous, man. Especially if you want them to be powerful and you want them
I
to
agree.
touch an audience,
make a point.
make
Yeah,
an impact. Do you understand?
yeah,
You can't just come on and just be blasé and talk
I
like
agree.
this.
Yeah.
And I don't like doing that. So the past month or 6 weeks, I would say, I've been intuitively guided to just take a break, right? Just take a break, rekindle yourself, work on other aspects of your life that needs looking at, needs viewing. And then once you start to balance them out, then like now I'm getting that energy back. I'm getting that urge to make videos. And I'm up for it now. I'm ready for it. Whereas before, if I was to just keep posting, it would have been just I don't it
that's a
wouldn't have hit.
garbage.
Yeah, it wouldn't have hit. It wouldn't have been, you know what I mean? And so sometimes you do have to listen to your intuition, whether it's telling you to do something or whether it's telling you to take a break. Do you understand? No one can tell you what you need to do. It's up to you, and you have to be, and that comes with being open as well. You've got to be open, because if you're not open, then you might miss them subtle intuitive nudges to go down that way or go down that way, if you get what I'm trying to say, guys.
It absolutely comes down to a point where you have to listen to what you're doing, and then, as you say, as you become more and more, you get your vibration up and more, you you get these greater opportunities, but you're more equipped to actually make those decisions as a better programmed type of person. Whereas you look at someone who isn't, and they're sitting in their four walls and they think their job and their family is important, but they're losing themselves within this lifestyle that they've got.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think a lot of people see us for what we are, and I think the envy, jealous, and the seven deadly sins coming because they wish they were us. But you speak about it, and you're the bad guy. One other thing I was telling Cortez, Diana, was the silence. Silence is the most greatest thing we can give them, because then they'll be able to work out. Go, okay, I think I should be a better person, or see where you're at with things. See where you're at with it. I mean, at the end of the day, they've already got their attitude about you anyway. So what's the point of bloody pushing any buttons anyway? You're not going to get the same result. What are you going to? You waste your time. I'd rather make a TikTok video than waste my time on someone who's already got an opinion. That's how I look at it.
Everyone's gonna have their own opinions and perceptions of you, which you cannot
That's
change.
right.
And it's none of your business, to be honest with you, unless it's someone really
That's
close
right.
to you that you care about their opinion. Then everyone's gonna have their perception.
I really can't. I'm like way over. Yeah, I just don't. I just do this. I feel inspired.
You gave me a hint, so I'm giving you that. But I see the flow that we're getting from me anyway, with this dream that I've got come true with playing in this band, and we're getting absolute raving reviews. We've only played the new lineup's only been twice. They're getting rave reviews, but I just feel that the work that I've done personally has done so much to help this. Do you think in your life, the work you've been doing, I'm sure Diana's going to say the same thing. I'm sure both of you. But how do you feel about living in abundance, really, with an abundant and a positive outlook, an accepting outlook? There you go. I got a few words for you.
It's a mindset. Abundance is a mindset. If you can reprogram yourself every day to accept good things happen to you, because we as humans expect the worst. We prepare for the worst automatically.
And do you think we're distracted by what we've got around us? Like we've got computer games, which are great things. Don't get me wrong. I love playing computer games, watching video, but they're all distractions. Let's be honest.
They are all distractions, and they can be used for positive as well, like you said. But at the end of the day, if you don't minimize the amount of time you have on these gadgets and social media and certain things like that, then your life's going to pass you before your eyes and you have not done nothing with it. And that's
Yes.
what they want. That's exactly what they want. You see, it's being able to, like Jay says, being in a flow. If he wasn't imagining and believing and expecting this band of his to become a reality, then it wouldn't have. Do you understand? It was the energy that Jay directed into his dream. Why he is now experiencing his dream. That's the only way any of us can experience something, is if we believe first that we can experience it. We have to believe we deserve things before we experience it.
Mindset, mate. It's like you look back when you saw it. Oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. But now we are doing it.
Yeah.
We
That's
are all
it.
doing it. We are
That's
making
it.
videos. We're
A year
writing
ago,
books.
all of us were doing the full time, right? Almost about a year ago now is how we
Yeah.
all met with the full time purpose challenge. Like, I can't believe that, like, we've come a long way. I think you have to give yourself credit. Okay,
So
I don't
much.
care about the number of subs, number of views,
No,
whatever
no.
platforms. We actually got started on our purpose or dreams, or it's gonna. I'm not saying this is your exact purpose, YouTube, but it's the direction that's in alignment.
Yes.
It's inspiring
100%.
people. It doesn't matter what way you're inspiring. It doesn't
100%.
matter if it's TikTok, YouTube, or just us talking, raising
What
our
a
vibration.
change in life, though, Diana. Have a
Yeah.
look at the have a look at the change in our lives. It's amazing.
Can't believe that I made that big of a change,
Yep.
And the thing is,
of that
when
life, dude.
when we're going through these changes, it's like it's like there's this underlying energy that surrounds us, right? And we take it for granted because we look back and we're like, how the have I done that? Or how did I get through that? And it's all, and we really need to understand, right? We were never alone going through those things, man. We were never alone, man. It's the human conditioning that would keep us bound to those addictive personality traits, those addictive substances. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the help of whatever comes in and takes over us and is like, enough's enough. You are going to change, and whether we accept that or not, there's over time, if we open ourselves more up into these energies, then we are able to accept these energies into our lives and able to use them and create change effortlessly sometimes as well. Do you know what I mean? So I think we don't give ourselves enough credit
Yeah.
from where we have come, man.
Yeah.
Honest to God, and the
Yeah.
people we are turning into and the people we are helping, and just how far we've come in personal development just alone in the past year is amazing.
A
And
lot of people don't make it. Yeah, a lot of people don't even get out of the. I mean, we not only became aware of our stuff, we've done a lot of shadow work, but we've made like significant leaps. Like even though you have kids and everything, like you're still trying to do it. And everything. I mean, that would be hard for me. I couldn't even imagine having kids and trying to. I guess you make it work, but that would be hard for me to continue that stuff. So that's like big ups on you and even Jay. I mean, we've all come on. I think the way this Matrix program, it always. We want to have big things, like big results, big success, but you have to be consistent and it takes time. You don't get instant. This isn't like we're going to go viral overnight. I'm sorry, but conscious content doesn't happen. The stuff that goes viral is brain dead.
That's right. There you go. That's exactly right. If you want to make a walk, if I want to walk to your place, I still have to take the steps, and there'll be pots in the road. You got to deal with it, and then move on it. But you keep your mindset, and then you think why were you? But this is all the shadow work that we've been doing. Shadow work, the energy work, however we put it. This is where we're done. And look, you're right. We're going to be proud of the way we've done, mate. This is awesome.
It's like you said, Joe. It's taking a step back and analyzing what you need to tweak in your life in order to make it better. Like I said to you, Jay, yesterday, Dana, I was invited out to a party a couple of days ago. In my head, at first, I was going to go, and my intuition was telling me not to go, but I just ignored it, and I felt like, I don't know, I felt this heavy energy just inside of me for no reason for 2 days after that, and then I listened to a motivational video, and it was saying about choices we make and don't make a short-term gain for a long-term loss. And I was thinking to myself, If I'm going to get headway with what I want to do, if I'm going to literally design a business and build this, and I don't have time to be going out and drinking and
I'm the
partying. And
same. I got
I
the same
don't
thing.
have time to be doing that anymore. And if I am not serious about where I want to go, and if I can't image myself being there and doing the hard things that I know I'm going to have to sacrifice to get there, then I'm never going to get there. So I chose not to do it, not to go out, and this energy inside of me, Diana, lifted. Literally, I felt this energy just go, and I felt so free, so vibrant, so energetic.
Yeah.
And it was because I listened to my intuition, which was telling me not to go out. Something so simple like that, but you have to be open. You have to be open to even know you have this communication system that can benefit you throughout the day if you're open to it, like animals. It's crazy, man.
What do you think, Diana? Because you've made the massive change. I see
100%.
amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's amazing what you're doing. I mean, you can,
and,
I mean,
and the thing is, Diana, I take my hats off to you because you haven't had it easy this year, man, and you still be consistent more so than any of us, right? With what's been going on and certain things like that. And I think you need to give yourself credit for where you've come and what you've done just this year alone with everything that's been thrown at you. Honestly, that alone is inspiring. And I think about you when I'm in my little pity potty moments, and I think to myself, listen, Diana's, look what she has sustained this year, and look what she's doing. Look where she is. Look at her mindset. You literally are an inspiration, Diana. I just wanted you to know that because it doesn't go without saying. And we see you. Do you know what I mean? And even you, Jay, keeping your white journey of the white feather chapters going up. You've got enough chapters now to make a book. Do you know what I mean? You started on chapter 1, now you're on chapter 71, nearly. And it's like, it's those moments in life where I can see the change, because sometimes we can't see the change in ourselves. Just like me in the gym, I go gym every day because I used to do bodybuilding. I look at myself and I like to sort of sculpt out my body. So I'm looking at myself every day, but I can't see the changes other people see. Do you understand? So sometimes we need to hear this from people that, well done, man. Well done. It uplifts you and it's nice to hear.
Well, how I look at this, even what happened with my mom, I was talking to Sarah a little bit, she's into the medium stuff and probably gonna try to communicate stuff like that, but we think like, it just seems like it was almost like a dark entity, like kind of like took over her, man, because she wasn't herself the past 6 months. She wasn't there. Like, I've never seen her like that. And we talk about dark entities and stuff, what's going on. And I honestly think it was kind of a test for me too. I hate to say it, but I think that was kind of like, something was trying to take me down a little bit by doing that to see how I would react, get me to go back into old patterns. I know that sounds weird, but man,
nah, that's not weird at all.
Obviously she had her own thing she was dealing with, but dude, the way that happened, that was too bizarre. And like, and I think, when we're trying to do too much, trying to shine lighter and stuff, and I think there was something darker going on with her, because her soul wasn't there. Like, I've never seen her like that. Past 6 months, she wasn't here. She was just, I've never seen that before. It was like something took over her and, like
body snatched.
Do that, man. And the way she did it, like, she just went up to a room and like, which somebody dad, I don't want to make a noise. Are you in a meeting? Like, it was some weird you see in a movie. And so I think it's a test for me, like, okay, she's gonna, whether it's a dark entity trying to test me or something, but it's like, oh, she's gonna go fail. She's gonna go back into your addiction. She's gonna go. I was like, no, man, this is why we do what we do, because we're trying to, like, overcome that kind of stuff. And I feel like that was a big test for me. And I was like, I don't want to go back to that level, because then I go back towards that kind of, and I felt the way she's felt before. I've had dark things take over me with that addiction and stuff. That was horrible. That like I wasn't like, that wasn't me either. And I've even had recently, I've had times where I've gone, like, I went to the gas station, to get gas, and this guy came up to me I used to like party with, whatever, and like up to my car, like, I'm being tested. I'm being really like, and the people that are messaging me, I mean, people are really trying to bring me back into old shit. I mean, it's like I'm getting thrown all different, even we're going into ex-boyfriend, we're going into, so I'm just like, nope, I know what I'm doing. That's cool, you can try, but I'm not going that level. I was miserable. I went to that dark night of the soul. I know where that goes. And I'm
You
not,
let people-
this feels good. Like, this feels in alignment. This feels right, doing this kind of stuff. And I finally got everything together and I feel better. I'm like, I don't, I mean, there are some temptations. Sometimes you're low vibration. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, I could want to get effed up a little bit. I'll be honest, especially everything I have with my mom. I get these thoughts that come in. They're like, oh man, it'd be nice to just kind of like, especially if my dad triggers me a little bit, I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to maybe escape for a little bit. But I know that's
that's old programming. They're just old thought patterns. 100%.
But I just replace it with I just do what I've been doing. I just kind of replace it. Like, look, I'm going on a hike today. I do this kind of stuff. I channel into the YouTube, and that's why I'm even getting into podcasting now. I'm about to start recording podcasts because I need a little bit of an outlet. There's a lot of trauma that happened, and I don't want to go back into. I need to do something like to.
Yeah, 100%.
What's the key thing you're doing
about that? But just I need an outlet, man. Because I mean, I go to a therapist. I talk to you guys, but it's a lot deeper. That's like some heavy.
What's the key word? What's the key thing you're doing?
What do you mean?
What's the key thing?
On the
You're making a choice.
Oh, make it. Oh,
Greg and Michael. Hello, Greg, Michael, Greg, Riley, and Michael McNair, my mentors and my great teachers. You have just worked out that you had a choice. Something I didn't realize I had a bloody choice for about 46 years, and I didn't really realize that I had the choice to make of which direction you're going. You made you've got the power of choice, and we all have that. We all have the power of choice. We have the power to say we are free in a lot of ways. Yes,
unless we've been body snatched, you see.
Well, that's different. That's going down that thing, but we'll just say it's a general thing, yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
No.
It's true. It's real what Dinah was saying, and
I think
a lot of people don't talk about it enough, and because whether it's because of fear, whether because they're not open enough to it, but we've really got to understand that. Even down to drinking alcohol will open you up to be.
It opens up like I was reading about that, and there are people that keep on asking me to go and drink with them and stuff.
Yeah.
Even like, I mean, that wasn't really my problem. Drugs are more, but still, but I have a feeling, and especially with going with grief and trauma like I have right now with my mom, like that would just bring me down to a whole, and it might make my inhibitions lower. It might make, and like people are literally coming at me all the time. Dude, I'm not even gonna touch that because even if I wanted to, I just don't think it's in alignment with. And it will stop me from making videos, and it is a depressant, dude. It makes me depressed, and it makes my body feel
100%.
If you went that way, right? Which is, I know exactly what you're saying. So you're dropping your energy. Yeah. Okay. It's even with the food you eat and everything like that.
You've got a spiritual shield. You have a spiritual shield.
That's right. And you can let your stuff in.
And then your spiritual shield diminishes and diminishes and diminishes. The more you get drunk and drunk and drunk, and then there's nothing shielding you for that entity to take over your body snatch you, and then you're doing things you don't want to do. You're saying things you don't want to say. You're do you understand? And it's not you. And someone said this is not like you because it's literally
they call it spirits. Alcohol. They call it spirits
for a reason. Literally,
it's literally called spirits.
If they're taking the piss out of us, done, ain't they? They're really taking the piss out of us. But it's a real thing, and I'm very passionate about that because that's a big gateway for me personally, because I know when I drink and it gets past a certain point, then I want to start doing other substances, right?
And that's what with me, and or it's like, hey, I'm gonna hit up that guy who I know is toxic. Hey, I'm kind of in a mood, and then we don't know what the hell is gonna happen. Then and then things are just like. Question mark, and then you wake up down feeling like you're like, I do that kind of stuff.
And you wanna know what? I've put myself through that cycle so many times now, guys, honest to God. And that's another thing within the last 3 months that I kept drinking. Like I might have 2-3 weeks off, and then something will draw me back in because I've been getting momentum. Something would test me, something will come up, and I say, I just let my hair down for a day, and that'll put me back a week or two. Do you understand? And
this is your test, my friend.
The big test for me was yesterday, man. It was literally staying in with the kids, and I let the missus go out because I like to challenge myself as well. I believe like when you're in a relationship, man, she could go anywhere and I should feel 100% safe and knowing that I trust her 100%. So even though those thoughts still do come up, guys, this is what you gotta understand, right? You can put yourself in situations, right? But you still might receive those thoughts, those old thought patterns that come
They
up.
come, man, and
they
it's
come.
always at the worst time. It's always like your weakest moment. It or whatever is looking for an opening. Trust me, I'm dealing with this every single day. I've been dealing. I mean, how do you think I fought like addiction and stuff? It was heavy coming, like, and your brain's messed up and you're craving something, so you have a physical thing for it too.
Honestly,
it's not just like your body needs it to function. So that was very. I had to go away for 4 months to like get away from to actually reprogram. I mean, that's hard, man. Even if you're not addicted, it doesn't matter. If it's just a coping mechanism, even drinking, like not everybody's
100%.
alcoholic or addict, but it's a coping thing. Hey, I don't feel good. Hey, my mom just did that. Hey, it would be nice to have a glass of wine. I mean, that thought's coming up every single day.
100%, 100%. And the
But
thing
it's,
is,
but
it's not going to stop at that, man. It's never, and then I'm opening up the door and then I'm going to do it again. And once you become, it becomes so I have to literally, the way I got through addiction, I had to replace all my habits with something else, because if I don't replace it with something, I get bored or whatever. So like I had to just, hey, I'm gonna go walk instead. I'm gonna go exercise. I'm gonna go make a video. You have to replace the habit, man. Your brain wants to do something, so you'll be like, no, we're going this way. That's what you have to keep doing again and again and again.
And put yourself in situations that are challenging. Put yourself, like yesterday, I knew I wasn't gonna want to stay in. And what made it worse was everywhere around, all around my town was festivals and parties and everything, and everyone was just partying yesterday. Everyone. And I knew those thoughts were going to come up, and I knew I was going to feel like wanting to go out and have a drink. But I put myself in that situation. I dealt with my mind and I self-soothed myself. And that was what got me through it. It's the self-soothing of your mind and your thoughts.
Yeah.
When they're coming up, you self-soothe it. You talk to yourself. You remind yourself why you're doing it. Remind yourself why you are sitting at home, because you have a goal. You've got something to aim for.
Main event, mate. Be a main event.
That's it. And
be the main event.
For a reason now. If we're not living in our purpose right now, if we're not doing the things that we need to do right now, then we are going to struggle.
You're going to get thrown off, and it's going to, like, you have to start the habits now, like, even if just, whether it's recording content, whether it's exercising. Like me, I'm struggling more with exercising thing, because I know my physical is the last thing for me that's, like, not in alignment, and, like, it's a habit. Like, sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like exercising because my brain wants to go, like, in the old, so that's taking a lot. That's why I'm going to walk, so I record TikTok for it, because I'm trying to get myself used to, because it helps my mental health, too. I mean, I'm not beating myself up for how I look, but everyone gains weight when, especially when you go through like after addictions. So like, that's hard. That's a habit. I have to create that new pattern in my brain, just like with the addiction, just like 100%. With YouTube, it doesn't feel like natural. So look, I'm going to go hiking. I got to make it more fun, right? Like I'm going to go hiking today, that kind of stuff. You got to like integrate into your life. If you make it too much of it's a task, anything, whatever it is, it's a task, man. You have to make it like somewhat fun, or like, I don't know. Something.
I tell you what, waking up at 5:30 in the morning to go for a jog is not fun, man.
You do that, yeah.
But it becomes mentally fun because you're mentally challenging yourself, and it might not be fun waking up. But when you are halfway through that jog and you are out there and you're listening to your motivational music in your headphones and you're jogging and everyone else is sleeping, oh my God, you get a feeling like no other, like you're in control. You're the captain of your own ship, and it's been a blessing and a pleasure to have you lot join us today with Nightwing and
Batman,
Robin over here, Starfire. Sorry, do you know what? I've been absent from a lot of these guys, so but forgive me if I get the names wrong. But I will be on every single week from now on, joining the best 3 people around, man. And like I say, Jay, you tell them where to visit us if they want to come and support the channel.
You got Live Theories, obviously. We've got our Live Theories videos, which is on Spiritual Needs TV with the big fella down that way. With the big fella, Spiritual Needs TV. You can go on to all our socials on Facebook, TikTok, and we've got Instagram. So we've got Spiritual Needs TV. We've got Diana, the lovely Diana from Virginia. She's on Trailblazers of the Universe. Get on her. She gets lots of motivational stuff. And talk about synchronicities. She brings it out with us. And also, We've got Small Sarah Big Soul in Canada. Our little pixie,
Hey, Sarah.
Raven.
She couldn't join us today, but she is out fighting the baddies.
She fights the battle. She calms us all down.
That's it.
Honest.
That's
She's
it.
like
That's why we're a bit hyped today, guys.
Yes, there you go. But she's Small Sarah Big Soul, and obviously you can get us on life theories. Send us your ideas. If you want to have, we're going to start having guests on very, very soon. So, and also you can get me on Journey of a White Feather. Season 2 started. I've got 4 episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. And yes, the book is coming out. But thank you so much for joining us on Life Theories. It's been a great audible, as we called it. It's an audible. Like we do in pro wrestling, we called it an audible. We got on here, and it's been fantastic to get the 3 of us on. The big fella's back, and we're ready to rock and roll next week.
I'm back, man. I'm back. I'm back. I'm
ready to
back.
rock and roll.
I'm feeling good,
I
guys.
sold out.
He's got his guitar out.
I got my guitar. I sold out the hotel.
I'm going to write a song for you next time, guys.
If you like Wasp, get on it. Wild Child, Wasp Tribute Australia, one of the best in the world. Anyway, we're a main event, as we've been talking about. Thanks very much. Take care. Love yous all. We'll see you soon.
Peace.